Hello dispatchers, I just wanted to create a quick video just to go over our CAD system for whenever you guys do field training. Therefore, it'll cut back on the amount of time it takes for field training, and you'll already be familiar with this. So if yours doesn't look like this in the, I believe it's called the beta mode or the command bridge, one of the two, then you'll want to scroll down and go to settings. And then there should be an option somewhere on there that says enable command bridge or something like that. So that's how you'll get it to look like this. The first thing I will cover with you guys is going to be the little clock in and clock out thing down here in the corner. So everyone should have access to the civilian profile in the CAD. And whenever you link your civilian to the dispatch thing or whatever, you'll have this little clock in button. So once you click clock in, this is what it'll look like, which means that whatever civilian, so mine, John Anderson, will be getting paid for however long you are dispatching. It'll show you the amount you've made right here for however much time right here. That's just simple. Just clock in and clock out. I'll show you clock out at the end, right before we're done. But now to the actual dispatching part. Right here on the side, you will see that you have a list of any units that are currently logged into the CAD system. So you can click on them and you can update their status. So right now the fire chief is marked as 10.8 in the CAD, but if I wanted, I'm not going to change anything right now, but I could change his status to 10.7 or 10.6 if he's busy or anything like that to help you manage your units that you have in game. Another thing that you can do over here is you can see whatever department that they are on, and you can assign them to a call this way if you would prefer to do it that way. For law enforcement, it's good because you can put them as 1011, which will show them on this side as on a traffic stop for you. Which I'll show you one other thing that we do want to do with traffic stops. The next thing that I will be going over with you guys is going to be creating a call. So if an officer calls out a traffic stop or has anything else that they say over radio that deems creating a new call for service, you come over here. Usually this will display all your calls. You'll just click this new call button up here in the top left of the call board. Once you click that, this new call menu will pop up. In the title, you just want to put a brief description of what's going on. So like, usually it's pretty vague. So for this one, we'll just put traffic stop. Usually traffic stops are usually a low to medium priority. And then in the details section is where you'll put whatever information. Usually when I, oh crap, traffic stop. Usually when I'm dispatching, I have my caps lock on because that just helps me with seeing what's going on. I just prefer it myself. You don't have to do it that way. It's just how I like it. But what you'll do is like location, you can put them at Highway 4 westbound at Fisherman's Road. Or like however you want. So like I put HWY for highway. If you want, you can spell out highway. Just whatever makes sense to you. And I put WB for westbound lanes. I did type out at. The other thing that you could do is just put a slash to show like intersection. You'll also want to type out plate. So in my city, officers use RP for registered plate. You can type out plate or PLT, whatever makes sense for you. So I'll just make one up. A12-37B. Oh. That way that the plate is registered in the call. So if they have any other issues, or if that vehicle flees, or God forbid something happens on that call, you can just go back and see what plate that they were out of and then get a bolo out on that plate or see who the registered owner is of that plate, anything of that nature. The other thing you want to include when you are making traffic stop calls is how many occupants are in the vehicle. So 1 or 2 or however many you want. So I usually put OCC for occupant count. And then I usually do VEH for vehicle description. It'll be like white Camaro, 2-door. Something like that. Something super simple. For traffic stops, I'm not looking to have a ton of information in here. You can put however much you want. You can put however much the officer calls out. I will say sometimes the officers don't call out all of this information on a traffic stop, but it is encouraged that they do. That's the way that I personally train officers to do, is tell them the location, the plate, how many occupants, and what, and like a short vehicle description to put out. And then down here, you'll click on whatever department is stopping them. So usually if it's a traffic stop, it's going to be the sheriff's office. Occasionally the police department once they get that back up and running. And then you'll come down here and you'll search for whatever unit was on the traffic stop. So we'll just do me. So I'm 2308. Where did I go? Oh, I don't think I can attach myself to the call. That's probably why. So we'll just do 2313 because I don't think he's online. And then once you have the assigned unit or units, you can add however many you want down here. Usually it gives you a list, or like you saw, you can type it in. And then you'll click dispatch call, and that'll create you a call. This is going to be a list of all of your call boards. Usually these will be marked in the up position, so usually I like to try to click them all down so I can see them. But up here under priority 1 will be any of your high priority calls that will pop up, such as 911 calls, shots fired, anything like that. Priority 2 is going to be for more medium priority, so nothing too crazy, but still somewhat urgent. And then priority 3, like traffic stops, and then other calls, depending on if it's like, this will be for mainly non-emergency, like if a civ calls in for non-emergency. Whenever you have a call open, usually what we want to do is whenever the officer talks, try to add a little note into the call for whatever they're saying, if it is important or relevant enough to notate. So we could put, like if they'll call out asking for a name search, which I'll show you how to do in a second, you can just put driver and then type the name. So John Anderson. And then click post. That way, again, same thing, just kind of like a similar thing with the plate. It's just in the call in case something happens. You can just go back and see who the driver of the vehicle was, because not always is the driver going to be the registered owner. But then whenever the call clears, they'll usually say something like, show me clear with a warning. So then I would type in here, unit cleared with warn, or cite, or whatever. Just that way we know in here the call was resolved. And then don't click delete, that'll just delete the whole call in general. Try to click close call. Then after that you can click the X if it still remains on your screen. And that is basics of how to create a call, add notes to a call, clear a call, stuff like that. One other thing I want to go over with you guys is how to create a bolo. This isn't used a ton, but when it is very helpful, and it's very important to know how to do it. So you as a dispatcher will usually be like, can I get a bolo out for a such and such? And so if they say, can I get a bolo out, usually you just scroll down here. You'll want to click this plus button in the upper right hand corner of the bolo screen, and it'll pop up this new bolo tab. You'll want to type in the title of the bolo. So usually that's going to be something like just general, kind of like how they have here, red sedan fleeing I-90 westbound. So you could type in white Camaro I-69. And then last known location, you could put I-69 westbound lanes, approaching city east exit, or something like that. And then the description of the vehicle, you want to just elaborate some more. So white Camaro, and with Bolos, it's okay to abbreviate in the title, but it's preferred if you don't abbreviate in the actual description. Occupied by one. Possible white male wearing a white shirt, black pants. Wanted for fleeing and eluding law enforcement. Oh, if I could spell. At a high. Perfect. And then also in here you'd want to put like armed and dangerous / violent tendencies, if that is applicable. Down here you can see the scope. You can set it to visible to all departments or this department only. Usually you're going to want to send it to all departments instead of just your department, because if you send it to just your department, that'll only be visible to the dispatchers and the officers won't have it on their end. Once you have all the information filled out, you want to go down here to the bottom right corner of this new Bolo tab and click Create Bolo. Which it'll then pop up down here at the bottom under the Bolos section. So if a unit ever calls out a traffic stop, you can just scroll down and be like, oh wait, that might be our Bolo. And then let them know. Whenever it is resolved and they have found the Bolo, they'll be like, dispatch, you can clear that Bolo. Usually you'll go ahead and click the check mark right here in the upper right corner that says clear. But since this is just for training purposes, I'm going to click the delete just so that it doesn't show in the priors for anybody. Awesome. Something else that'll happen quite a bit is officers will call out either names or a vehicle plate to search. For that, you'll want to come over here to the left-hand side, the menu bar. You'll click either person search or vehicle search, whatever you've got, and then you'll type in the name. Anderson. And then once the name pops up, you'll click it. It'll give you everything that they have. So John Anderson has a 2020 Ford Explorer White registered to him. Everything is valid. It also shows you their weapons and any driver's license and other licensure. When you're calling this out back to the officers that requested the name check, you don't want to give them all the information and tie up radio traffic. So what I'll usually say is, it'll be returning to a John Anderson, 27 out of Beachtown. He's valid, clear, no warrants. Or he's valid, clear, something like that. Or you could say, like, if the license was suspended, you could say he's suspended, no warrants, or something like that. If you come back to vehicle search, we'll just look up Steamer here because it's in my recents. You can see here that everything is coming back valid. So in this one, you'd just be like, plate dispatch to whatever unit was calling out. The plate Steamer is going to be coming back to a white Dodge Charger, and it is valid, clear. You can do the same thing with firearms. I don't think I've ever searched firearms in the game, so it's not very often. And then the last thing that I'm going to go over with you guys is what to do when there's a 911 call. So usually this will be the call board most of the time, but if a 911 call is created by a civilian, then it'll pop up like this. Well, it should pop up. There it is. Usually you don't have to refresh it. I think it was just because I did it off of another tab, since it wasn't me that did it. But it'll automatically pop up over here. And so then what you'll want to do is you'll want to click on the call, just briefly read over the call notes, try to make sure that you got what's going on. So like this one, it says, white Camaro left the roadway, crashed into a tree, car smoking, no one exited the vehicle, and it was driving recklessly prior to the crash. Possible white male driver wearing a white shirt. So what I would then do is come down here, click the edit call, keep it as a priority 1. You'll want to change the title from the location to the call type. So this one would be accident entrapment. Then you'll want to click all of the agencies responding. So those 3 would be the ones I would attach. And then you can click save changes and then dispatch the call. And then whatever units call out en route, or if you call out units, you can click assign unit and then add whatever units to said call. After that, you can go ahead and click close call whenever they are cleared after adding any notes that they may say. That is pretty much a simple overview of, oh, one thing I forgot is if there's a shots fired, a pursuit, or any other high priority event, you as a dispatcher, it is your responsibility to activate the signal 100, and how you do that is you just come all the way up to the top right hand corner of your screen and click the red button that says signal 100. It'll give you a confirmation message saying, are you sure you want to broadcast a signal 100 to all units in the community? And if you did, you'd want to click activate signal 100. Due to there being an active server right now, I'm not going to do that and make everybody be like, what's going on? But that's how you do it in case you should the need arise. Other than that, that is all I have for the CAD overview for you guys. Just to clock out is you just come down here and just click the clock out button. It's really as easy as that, and then automatically however much you made during that time period will go to your civilian that is listed right here. So in this case, it'll be John Anderson. If you guys have any further questions for me regarding the CAD, don't hesitate to direct message me, or whenever we do your field training, then you can bring them up then. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day.